minute. But right now, TERS is our word, and the acronym that we have for TERS is Traditional Entrapment and Restricted Spirit. Tradition entraps and restricts spirit. One more time. Tradition entraps and restricts spirit. Here's our verse, Colossians 2 and 8. Colossians 2 and 8. Can somebody put that up on the screen for me? Or if you're on the conference call, just say it out loud. Colossians 2 and 8. There you go. I appreciate it. Colossians 2 and 8. Let me see it. Somebody on Facebook, somebody put that up. Colossians 2 and 8. Colossians 2 and 8. Periscope, you got it? All right, thanks, Terrell. Colossians 2 and 8. Here's what it says. See to it that no one takes you captive through hollow and deceptive philosophy, which depends on human tradition and the basic principles of this world rather than on Christ. Hey, Deacon Bellamy, one more time. See to it that no one takes you captive through hollow and deceptive philosophy, which depends on human tradition and the basic principles of this world rather than on Christ. Look, here's today, Lady Keller. Here's today. Today is simply that while there are some traditions that are good for us, because there are, let me be clear. There are some traditions that help us culturally. There are some traditions that help us hold on to history. There are some traditions that allow us, to maintain who we are, as men or as women, or based on your race or your ethnicity or your business or your organization or your church. I get it. There are some traditions that we stick to. However, there are some meaningless traditions that we still hold on to that really prevent God from doing greater. And so today's conversation for all of us is, if we're going to maximize potential, if we're going to live a life that is golden, and more importantly, if God is going to do greater, right? Old things are passed away, behold, all things are made new. If we are going to allow God to do greater, there are some traditions that we must tear away from, right? That's it. And here's the key. You want to tear away from it, because if not, it will tear you apart, right? There's a story about a guy. Some of you heard me tell it, maybe in Bible study or workshop. A story about a husband. His wife loved to cook him ham, but whenever she cooked the ham, she put the ham in the pot, and she cut off the edges, right? She cut off the right edge and she cut off the left edge. He didn't understand it, so he asked her, why do you keep cutting off the edges? Her response was simple, my mother did it. So he asked his mother-in-law, look, whenever your daughter, my wife, right, whenever she cooks these hams, she always cuts off the edges of the ham. And he asked, I just want to know why. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just want to know why she cuts them off. She said she did it because you do it. And she said, I don't know. I did it because my mother did it, right? So he goes to the grandmother and he says, listen, your daughter and your granddaughter cut off the edges of this ham every time they go to cook it. And I'm not saying it's bad. I just want to know why they do it. And you know what the grandmother said? The grandmother said the reason that I cut off the edges of the ham when I cook is because I didn't have a pot big enough to hold a ham. I don't know if that's funny to you or if that is disturbing. Here's the key. The family had passed on a tradition because they had not really researched exactly why the tradition started. And there are so many. I'm not just talking about in church. I'm talking about in your life. I'm talking about in your family. I'm talking about, how we rear our kids. We do the same thing our parents did and their parents did. I'm talking about how we handle our finances. We spend the way we've always seen it, because that's a tradition. We buy things that are traditional. We operate with the status quo, doing the ordinary and the mundane. We operate like we are regular. But what we must understand is that there are some traditions that are keeping us trapped. That's what Colossians says. It says, don't get held up. Don't get bound. Don't be chained. Don't be entrapped by tradition. Listen, again, let me be clear. There are some traditions that are good for us, for you, for me, for the world, for our culture, for our churches, organizations. But there are some things that we have built into the rigor and the ritual of life that have no meaning, and they are preventing us from moving forward. That's what a trap does. Thanks, Sister Yor. That's what a trap does. Here's what a trap does. A trap doesn't kill you. That's what's crazy. Traps do not kill you. Mice traps don't kill you. We've had some ants in our house. The ants go through the trap because the trap is not designed to kill you. All the trap does is keep you in place so long that you miss out on your future. The trap just holds you still. The trap, Lady Kelly, it entangles you. The trap keeps you stagnant. It pauses you. It freezes you. Meanwhile, life is going on around you. Miracles are taking place. Blessings are being, tossed out, and we miss all of that because we may be stuck in some tradition. Here's the good news. That whenever you see tradition, matter of fact, let me say this before we get to the good news. If you're trying to figure out, well, what do I do with tradition? How do I curtail some of the traditions, or how do I move beyond them? Well, one way that I've kind of put into practice is whenever I'm presented with a tradition, when everybody starts off with, well, this is how we've always done it, in any arena. The first thing I try to do is figure out, well, what edition is this tradition, right? What iteration is this tradition? What version of the tradition is this? Because if this is how the tradition originally began, then it may or may not still be relevant. Or if this is the second iteration or second version or second edition of an older tradition, then maybe the tradition can be updated, or I can give it the 5.0. It's 2017. I can give the 8th version of whatever that tradition was. The key is, don't just do it because it's been done. Do it and adapt it so that it is relevant and meaningful for this moment, for this time, for your family, for where you are now, and more importantly, for where God is taking you. So that's practical. Now, when we talk about the good news is that although there are some traditions that have held us bound, what they do is they bind us spiritually. And the good news is, whom the Son has set free, there it is. I wish it was Sunday morning. Is free indeed. That is to say that there is no trap, there is no tradition, there is no thing that has held you bound and down and frozen so long that you can't break free. The power that you and I have in God, the power that we have through Christ, the power you have within you is to now move forward, is to create a new tradition, to start something that is fresh, to take the old, reshape it like clay, mold it, maneuver it, tear some things apart, and represent it in such a way that it can be good going forward. That's today's message. Today's message is, don't let tradition tear you from what God is trying to do in you. Don't let tradition bind you. One of the things I think we talked about before is there's always another option. And whenever we talk about tradition, I'm saying today, look for it. Look for the other option. Look for what is new. There's this thing, and I'm not sure if you can tie this together. Sometimes I'm a little too brainy, and this might not even make sense. But there's this thing that happens in the morning for people who enjoy it called breakfast. It's crazy. Breakfast. It's really two words together. It's break fast, right? Break fast. D-Town Drew. Nah, man, I haven't, but I'll go with that. That means I can save somebody there. Look, it's breakfast. And so breakfast is after you spend all night fasting, not eating. In the morning, you wake up and you break the fast. It is a new start. It is a going forward. It is a let's do something now and new that I didn't do yesterday. And what I'm trying to do kind of is help you see that, even though there are some traditions that have held you down, every morning you wake up, you have an opportunity, like breakfast, to break traditions, to do the unheard of. I saw a quote today. I think it was Lady Rose, who is Pastor Lance Watson. He serves in Richmond, Virginia. Pastor Lance Watson's wife. I was just kind of scrolling through Instagram early this morning doing my Devo. And one of the things she posted, it was something like this. Don't quote me. You can find it, Lady Rose. She said something like, "It's not too late. You're not too old. You haven't done so much that you can't start new." I know that's not absolutely right, but it's close. So let me just recoin it. It's not too late. You're not too old. You haven't done so much wrong that you can't start off fresh, brand new. And I want to add that today. So whatever the traditions are that have held you down, let me say that it's not too late for you to start a new one. You're not too old to still go after something that's brand new and great. You haven't done so much wrong that there isn't something great and right ahead of you. Today, start something new. Reconstruct, represent, refresh, because tradition shouldn't hold you back. Stop tearing up and tearing up. and go forward and see what God has for you. Father, I thank you today for the day. I thank you for our guests that were on today. I thank you for those who've been kind of logging in with us each week, each day and each week. And I pray that as we kind of going through this 40 days of living a life like it's golden, 40 days of maximizing our potential, that God, you really are growing us. We don't want to just log on and spend this time watching and listening and not really be changed. Not that anything is bad, not that, things have been rough, but God, we want to change for the better. We just want to grow. We want to increase. We want to enhance. We want to be more like you. And I pray today for somebody who may be listening that doesn't know you, that they would accept Jesus, that they would come to some knowledge that Jesus does save, and that life is better with him, and that, Jesus' death on the cross brings salvation. God, whatever you want to do with us and through us today, do it. And don't let our preconceived ideas or doctrinal traditions or cultural traditions stop us from grabbing and getting everything you have for us. Be with us today. In Jesus' name, amen.